Hello and welcome! So, going on to the next story chapter, after all, is Eris. So, she's going to round out the 4 characters for the Verdant Conflict. So, that should be good. So, we may as well get right into it and kick it off, of course, as we always do. Alright. Deep Wood Mystery, that's a good place to start. Kicking us off, I do need a Haven deck here that we can run that would be good. We've got this one, which is, oh god. Yeah, here we go, preview. I was hoping I get to check preview. I was hoping it wouldn't just be messing with me too much, but this could be okay, although I think my unlimited variation does a lot better, so we might just skip along these. Here we go, unlimited. Don't know which unlimited deck it is. I think it's this one. Yeah, that may do a lot better for a Elena Haven deck. That should get us through most fights without too much issue, I think. Breaking isn't a high chance, so leaves us in a good spot.
Have we arrived in Tetra's world?
Alright.
It seems we've been separated once more. The power of the Keepers is truly fearsome.
I love how she realizes that immediately. That's handy.
Focus on rejoining with the others. Where could they have gone?
She's about right. Where could they have gone?
Finally made it.
Ah, Mr. Fuzzybottom.
Looks like there aren't any of the Might Blight spirits around. Let the investigation begin. Now, let's see. Ah, there it is. Hopefully I can learn something valuable from this little spotty dot.
Huh, what's
A
that?
denizen of this world. But it seems quite different from Tetra. I should try to communicate with it. Perhaps it has seen the others.
Now I just hold the slate here, and voila!
Access points detected. Check-in key
What?
complete. Voice files found. Playing files recorded on Red Moon 25th, 283 PHR.
We're all out of NutriCubes, and production lines have ceased activity. Everyone in
What's
the
this?
179th ward is starving. Yesterday brought the death of yet another child. Mayor, this is our final warning. Open the ward barrier.
Noble children of the great 12th Ward, welcome. You, as chosen second-tier citizens, will henceforth enjoy the highest level of education. You are the first throughout history to receive such an honor.
What?
If you will, allow me to provide a brief explanation about the Virgo mechanism. You see, fundamentally, it's a set of energy distribution processes that work to bring modern comforts into our everyday lives.
Does that not sound like, Baphomet?
I can't make tails or whiskers of this one either. More useless information. Lord Valdane deserves better than this.
So, could Elon be kind of the past of this, maybe? Or maybe not the past, but Baphomet's previous world?
Excuse me.
Could be interesting. So this is a very interesting storyline so far.
Identify yourself.
Forgive me for startling you. My name is Eris.
How long were you watching? Wait a minute. Were you sent by Skull to spy on all Major Meowskers?
Meowskers.
No, I simply...
Of course you're a spy. Why else would you be trailing a respected military officer of Managarmer? I'll teach you to mess with us!
Please wait. Bear you no ill will, and I have no connection with this Skull organization.
Oh, no connection, Eris.
Exactly what a tender-clawed Skull scoundrel would want me to believe. How about you...
I'm very interested though, because it kind of seems like those recordings are definitely coming from Aileon. Through some form of a connection, whether visual or not, it comes through something.
I do not wish to fight you.
How about you?
Alright. So, actually, good hand. I'll take this. Any day of the week, I will take this kind of hand. Definitely one of the better ones I could get, for sure.
I'm privy to all sorts of information.
No good turn 2 play though, so that's awkward. Alright, improved. Turn 2 play. Robo Wing, perfect. I don't expect to ever have a turn 1 in this deck. But the turn 2 Robo Wing should be plenty enough to handle this. Alright, Elena, because we're going to do Elena things in a minute. That's the plan at least. So turn 4 Holy Bow seems like a line of play, although it doesn't seem quite good enough. Next turn, Holy Bow will be much more impactful and I could use it to its fullest. So we might wait till then. For now, I'm going to get set up as much as I can. Plus, setting up the spell will give us that extra draw we're probably going to be looking for. So I'm actually pretty happy with how this is going. Although we could end up in some long games if they're using Haven support cards, like Meowscars does, so I don't expect these games to be super fast, that's for sure. Holy Bow, it seems good, but I don't want to use it yet. I'm going to go for another Iron Knuckle. Mainly because that seems more promising here. It just seems like a better setup. Especially with the given situation, this seems like the best line of play that I can come up with. Alright, so Holy Bow should actually take pretty much everything out here without any trouble. Which is perfect. Plus get some nice buff going. Oh, that Elena though. Ugh. How I would love to use Elena. I still can if I go double repair mode instead this time, instead of pushing the Evo, which, nah, that seems okay. That way I can save it for the Elena Pro next turn. That, plus some repair modes, plus some potential other plays could be pretty impactful. So, I think it's worth it. And all of those are too slow to really be any kind of threat to me right now, so that's pretty promising. Now, do I want to go for the Elena Evo play? I think not, just because I can easily go for the Holy Bowman play here. So with a nice Evo on this, I can actually buff it up to 9 damage on its own, and get my first ping off. Can also then go Tender Rabbit Healer, which I probably should have done first. And we can actually go for all these plays too. This should be more than enough to win the game. Yep, easy. I actually had extra left over. How handy is that? We could have dealt at least another 3 damage that turn. Not a bad way to end the game, if you ask me, that's for sure.
I do not wish to harm you, creature. Will you please calm down?
I am calm. I just don't fraternize with enemies. Wait. Whimsy Whiskers, we got blight sprites on our tails.
Creature behind me. Hurry.
There goes the Blight Fairy.
Are you injured?
Of course not. Maybe my fur's a little ruffled, but that's all. Anyone can handle a blighted fairy, you know.
A fairy? Blighted?
Yeesh. Who doesn't know what a blighted fairy is? Makes me wonder if that funny hat of yours isn't on a little too tight. Look, it's common knowledge all around Naterra that Viridia Magna's blighted the wildlife, both natural and supernatural. How did you miss something so elementary?
I am not certain whether I should trust this cat-like creature or not, but it would be best to avoid unnecessary conflict. I shall attempt telling him.
Well, out with it already.
I have come from a different world, and as such, I have no knowledge of this realm. At least, none aside from the fact that it is facing this.
Now that you mention it, I've never seen pomp-romp clothing like that before.
Correct. I have never set foot on Naterra.
Give us a minute. That's all this. She's far too suspect. But she's as powerful as she is mysterious. Lord Valdane might praise me if I bring her back to the base.
I really hope they don't split these up again.
I apologize for how confusing.
Like, I don't want to see Eris and Rowan versus Arisa and Erica. That would hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm hoping they all team up, not as the final option, but as the beginning option.
Where exactly?
To my Lord Valdane's base. He's a benevolent man, and he's as knowledgeable as he is kind. So if you're looking for someone, it would definitely be worth your time to meet with him.
I have in fact been separated from my 7 companions. Would this Lord Valdane know of their whereabouts?
Oh, without a doubt. He knows. Oh, you don't trust old Major Meowskers? Why, I've got the most trustworthy whiskers in the wood.
I suppose I have
Mr.
no
Fuzzy
other
Butt,
course
or
of
Major Fuzzy Butt,
Please
as
guide me
Arisa
to
calls
your
him.
lord,
Great name, by the way.
Around. Let's pip-pop away.
I am not certain if following this creature will lead to this world's salvation. But even if it is a fool's errand, I must do something.
It's interesting that our first kind of tie-in with that Reed Crystal thing seems to be with Eris. I don't remember seeing anything of the sort anywhere else in this story so far. So it's nice that we're getting something really interesting if you do them in the, of course, order of release. And again, I have to check these because I always forget which one I selected last. That's the top one. Of course it is. Because the bottom one is Tenko. I run both Tenko and Haven variations.
Meowskers, is something the matter?
I smell something hep delicious. Wait, I recognize that scent. It's musk fruit.
Please, don't run off. Oh my. It has quite a vivid
That's musk for you. But it's not just a looker. It's tangy and delicious.
Then we were quite lucky to come across such a rare specimen.
Long ago, you could find them anywhere. And they were eaten regularly. But after the vile mother started to wake up, that's why we have to give Viridia Magna the old 1-2 before it's too late. Before she causes this whole world to wither away.
Greeting!
Ah, you're looking in top-shop form, Scout.
We've cleared this sector, sir. But I can't say the same for the last one. We found another member of the suppression squad, done in by blood.
Poor soul.
The same fate?
Guess you wouldn't know. Viridia Magna destroyed this world once before.
Jeez.
The ancients built an advanced civilization. But that didn't stop our dear mother from annihilating.
Oh, maybe it is possible that this was actually the past. Looking at that tower, that's very possible. I'd have to compare it to some other art, but it's very possible that the Blight Mother, yeah, Viridia Manga is Magna, is possibly something that Baphomet created, or something that just happened.
Anyway,
I don't know.
right,
It
tight
could be
work out
weird
there,
and
Scouts.
interesting.
Take this and split it amongst yourselves.
It's a very interesting concept.
Musk fruit! Major, we can't accept this.
Of course you can. You've earned it.
Thank you, sir.
Great glittering yarn.
Major, run for your life!
I don't want to start getting through this a little bit quicker, so we might start skipping past some of the less important story elements here.
Faces, the smasher of drink.
Stoneclaw.
Impossible. Oh, we better get out of.
Awesome. Where more stars? She found us. How did she keep up?
Claws of stone and paws like the wind.
This is school turf, my dudes. Get lost or get dead.
There is no need for violence.
Huh?
I understand there is some sort of dispute between you, but there is little meaning in harming each other.
You're not wrong, sis, but this is like my job's.
Then you have no intention of withdrawing.
Can't say I do.
That is most unfortunate.
Getting through the storyline one battle at a time. So we can get through this reasonably quickly. Let's see.
This is like my job.
Don't really like my odds there. A little bit better. Still not the best.
Ready for your spanking?
Oh, a little bit. A little bit ready. Thanks for asking. You know, polite, courtesy. That you ask it before you spank me, that's for sure. Alright, good turn 2 play. Robo Goblin at the top. Turn 3 is probably looking for an Iron Knuckle Nun. Don't mind the White Fang Temple though. Could be okay as well, but I'd rather have something on board at this point, especially since that fairy play now is not a fun one. So we definitely want to get either Elena's Prayer or the follower Elena so we can summon it. Would be great right now. Especially with Airbound Barrage. That's not a good card to have hit me. So that free Evo is not a fun one. And the perfect off the top, Elena, Purest Prayer. Or Prayer, sorry. Getting the wording on some of these is such a pain. Either way, that's going to end that, and this is going to start our buffing from now on, so we should be pretty set up.
The forest was my teacher.
Hey, let's play. Salvation surely awaits.
So, what do I want to do? That's the question here. Ideally, Iron Knuckle Nun plus the Realm of Repose setup sounds good to me. Mainly because that will protect the 2-3 while we will take direct damage. I can then just buff this next turn, max it out as much as possible, and worry about it after. Sounds like a plan to me. The only problem is our lack of board space, so it's probably going to be Robo Wing into Tender Rabbit, or Holy Bow into Tender Rabbit. Leaning towards Holy Bow right now, mainly because it's an insanely good card to play. It doesn't even require me to attack to potentially wipe out the board. Alright, so that gets us that. I should have went for... no, Tender Rabbit has to go second, otherwise I'm going to lose out here, aren't I? So I have to leave up that, which is a bit of a disappointment, to be honest. Because I want Repose to activate. Because I want to protect this board. I'm glad I did, because it looks like that's going to work in our favour pretty well. Since we are protected this turn anyway, it's actually not a big deal at all. And with that gone, we can actually just start our massive buff campaign. So this should be a pretty easy lethal. Like, we should, yeah, we've got it now if we want it. But I may as well just throw all the buffs on, make it a little easier. And that's the greatest way to use Repose, and one of my favourites. Just to straight up win the game. And it does make at least short work of that battle, even if it was only, I think, the second one, maybe? Maybe it was the third one? I think it's the second one. I'm not sure now. Lose track.
Almost. She's strong. How much power is hidden within her frame? I mustn't fold. Meowskers needs my protection.
Cool. You sure? Looks to me like he's already hightailing it out.
What? Meowskers!
Meowskers ran.
Seems like you have control. Good luck.
Ouch, sis. That's got a sting. Oh, I guess we can stop now.
What?
Look, my job is to run off any Managama idiots that come looking for pain. You don't smell like one of them, so fighting you's a waste of time. Speaking of smells, yours reminds me of someone really cute. Arisa?
Wait, you've met her?
Oh, so you did.
Boss man? Is that your leader? Would you take me to him?
Alright, give me a hand, honey. You can trust me.
My hand? Whatever for.
Why not? I dig soft hands.
Excuse me. Dig?
Oh, just like I thought. Soft as silk. Your fingers are so slim. You an angel or something?
This is quite embarrassing. Please refrain from staring at me like I'm some sort of fantastic creature.
Well, honeydew gets what honeydew wants. Come on, let's go.
I'll still never get used to her talking attitude.
Please have her release my hand soon.
Yes, that was only chapter 2. Ugh. 10 minutes a chapter is such a drag for some of these, I swear. Feels like they could go on forever. And the problem is I still want to get all the important keynotes for at least the basic idea of the overarching story.
This is where Bailey Riza.
Get the guards! Managama's returned!
So soon? Oh no! Is anyone protecting Lord Belial?
It seems we've come at it. Manic armor. Skull. Two opposing sides, finding themselves in conflict. An all too familiar story.
Hey, sorry to keep you hanging.
Is everything alright?
I wouldn't say all right. Some jerks from Managama managed to nab Erisa and Balion couldn't save her. He might be a king, but the only thing he rules at is sucking.
What? They have captured Erisa. We must hurry to rescue her.
It's fine, I'll handle it. You just go talk to Balion.
But I must...
Save it for when I get back.
Latiga! Oh, Erisa. I hope you remain safe.
Hey, we've got another bizarre lass over here!
Don't just stand there! Grab her!
You must be from Manic Armor.
Sorry to do this to you, but we need a hostage to make it out of here.
Do you feel no shame in stirring conflict? Devastation threatens this world once more, yet you and your companions continue to run amok.
Well, it's not like we want bloodshed. Blame the cowards of Skull if you need to blame someone. The Fire Mother has to die. There's no other way to save Naterra. Enough.
So
Oh,
the
here we
Goat
go.
King finally leaves his den.
Can you stand?
Yes.
Take this!
Go. Find shelter.
No. I will not run from that. Very well. To combat.
Yay! Fight, Eris! Fight, Eris! Honestly, Eris' storylines and Ewan's storyline are usually the two most important storylines for all characters as far as story progression goes. For some reason, I think that's just something they like to play off. Ewan, of course, being the introduction to world hopping, and then, of course, Eris being the introduction of, what is it, Serenity? So it makes sense that they are two very, very important characters. Everyone has a role, obviously, but those two obviously play the biggest overarching role for the main narrative. At least in my eyes, they do. I mean, it's starting to take a bit more of a backseat, but seeing how this chapter started, it definitely makes me believe they still want to roll that in. Because Meowscus is looking for the, like, past relic information of some form by the looks of it, but he doesn't understand any of it, so yeah, it's an interesting idea. So I see where they're coming from with that idea. And I hope that they'll expand on it reasonably well in this before they get to the Raw, but I doubt they will. Probably won't see any more of it until after the Raw. But it'll be interesting to see whether this is an alternate world or not. It's very possible that Allion and this are actually two sides of the same coin. Because looking at those relics, they do remind me very heavily of that inspiration, so that could be quite cool. It's something I would love to see, actually, thinking about it, so make sure I go for the Evo here, while I got this early. And this should at least buy us some time. I'm hoping to be able to heal up with Zoe next turn and draw decently, I hope. Although we might take way too much damage if I wait one more turn. I'll have to calculate my exact damage off this current board, even with healing, just to work this out. Okay, so this stops me taking any more than 3 damage at a time, which means even with an Evo, 9, yeah, they can deal a really good chunk of damage. Although Zoe should protect me, I think. As long as we don't take spell damage, we should be fine. This is very important. Alright. I just need to get out of death range here to buy me some time. And that should buy me enough. Okay. Let's see what we got. Alright, Crimson Purge. That's bad. Very bad. Not the end though. I mean, Holy Bow still gives me a chance. Since I can go into the Holy Bow, Tender Rabbit, some kind of play along those lines. I'm hoping this will work out well. It's the only chance I've got, to be honest, so I've got to take it at this point. I'm going to this for the draw. Yeah, that's perfect. More than enough. Whew, just
We won't forget this.
one over. Worked out to work out really well. Saves us some hassle.
There is no point in continuing this fight. You have suffered enough. Leave this place, unless you wish to endure more pain.
Damn you,
What a shameful display!
Oh, yeah, she's back.
Captain!
Greetings, King Baleon. How like you to keep such strange company. Anyway, thanks for providing my troops with a valuable lesson in humility.
You've lost, Gina.
Aye, but only for today. Mark my words, Forest King. We'll be back for you again and again, until Managarma has ripped the bleeding heart from Skull.
What drives you to such animosity?
Bold of you to ask. Troops, back to the base.
Forget them for now. Tell me, brave stranger, are you not an otherworld?
Indeed. And I suppose you are Baleon. Latika told me of you.
Aye, the leader of Skoll and Forest King. Even if that's in title only. Please accept my apology for Eris's capture. I am completely to blame.
So, just for reference here, okay, that little shard that Miascus looked like he had most likely come from this sword, just judging by the artwork design and the fact that obviously that blue ties in, which makes me wonder just a little bit. I just want to get the speculation out of my head right now that this sword somehow ties into everything.
There is no need for that. I trust that Latika will save her.
Then you place your trust well. Latika is the best warrior Skoll has to offer.
Oh, also the fact that both Maisha and Cetus are in the other world is really interesting, and also Nicola Adele. Nicola Adele seems to have come from Alion, and of course, what's his name again? Cetus, that I was thinking of, obviously came from this world. They match very, very well, so it's interesting.
Why are the peoples of Naterra in conflict? Viridia Magna threatens to eradicate this world. Does she not?
Aye, your understanding is correct. But the You see, Viridia Magna designed this world, populated it with life, and breathed ether into its roots. No one knows whether she created us, but that doesn't change the fact that we owe her everything. Even should we fall to our mother's blight, if it is her will, who are we to challenge her? More importantly, we have reason to believe her rage is cyclical, as natural as the changing of the seasons. You cannot struggle against autumn to delay winter.
I presume that Managarmer has different beliefs.
That's why we have to...
Destruction to prevent devastation.
We are all children of Naterra. There is no virtue in struggling against our brothers and sisters.
I understand well your pain, but we must do whatever is in our power to save your world.
You would act on our behalf? Did you not come here in pursuit of someone named Tetra?
That is... Oh, yes. Do you know her whereabouts?
As king of this forest, I know all of the names of my subjects, and I can assure you that the name Tetra is not native to this realm.
What? But how can that be?
This is mere conjecture, but I realize that your arrival here was a mistake.
A mistake? That is certainly hard to believe. But after seeing Tetra's countenance, this world does appear a bit organic by comparison.
I'm afraid you will not be able to assist this Tetra in your current predicament.
Do not apologize, kind. Perhaps we will not be able to save Tetra's world. However, my goal has not changed. A peril-stricken world deserves salvation, even should its salvation be unexpected.
It is comforting to see such a strong will.
I am actually weak of heart.
Simply give...
That
Not
weakness
interested in flashbacks too
gives
much.
strength.
Then, may I bother you with a request?
Certainly.
I believe the answer to our problem lies buried within history.
Oh, here we go.
If we can come to understand what led to the first devastation, Perhaps we can avoid its repetition.
Interesting idea.
And I am to delve into the past of this world?
Of course, I've tried myself. But with Managama becoming more and more aggressive, I'm afraid I can't continue.
Ah, see, this is why Eris is so important.
As an outsider from another world, you may be perfect for the task. Your novel insight and understanding.
Alright.
I am not certain if I can fulfill such an important role. However, if this presents the best hope for Naterra, I will readily comply.
Thank you. Your fervor is heart. There is a certain tool that will allow you to access information
Ooh, here we go.
recorded by the Ancient Ones. I would give it to you, but alas.
Now I just hold the slate here.
Access point.
Yeah, there we go.
Leon, is this tool perhaps a glowing of some sort?
You've already seen it. Well, I was right to trust you with the excavation.
Yes, but before I begin, I think you understand that I would like something in return.
I will find your allies while you are away. Latika should have no trouble tracking them down with that nose of hers.
I truly appreciate it. Farewell, Baleon.
I pray fortune favors you, lass.
Here we go.
The future of this world depends on the lessons I can learn from its past, and my search begins with locating that peculiar cat creature, Meowster. But he seemed to regard that slate with great importance. I imagine he won't give it up so readily.
I doubt he will. I doubt he will. Eris will just have to beat some sense into him. I mean, why not? Oh, this deck. There we go.
This is where I was before, and I believe Meowskers was headed in that direction. He should be somewhere nearby.
That dumb girl! Picking me up and muss-tussing up my fur! And on top of that...
Alright, I'm not too interested in that part of the storyline right now. I just need to kind of get through this. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to do all of this. I was hoping I'd have a little bit more time, but some stuff comes up, so we're just trying to get through this while keeping the important parts intact, alright?
Of course. It seems you too escaped with your tail intact.
Apologies for mousing.
Worry
Prisoner
not,
of war,
friend. I
yeah.
do not blame you.
Really?
I do, however, have a request.
Yeah? I guess it depends.
That glowing slate. Would you temporarily entrust it to me?
What? But it's just a rock.
It is crucial to saving Naterra, Meowskers. Please, lend me your aid.
I can't. And how do you know about this thing anyway? You're one of them. You've banded with that bunch of cowards. That's why the Stoneclaw didn't make mincemeat out of you. Oh, she would have smacked anybody else into oblivion.
Meowskers, you and I both want to save this world. Our goals are aligned. You must see
I'm not giving up the slate. Not a skull scum.
But Meowsker,
You know you've got a lot of puff-tough nerve, mate.
can you not see that I am attempting to act? I would not squander this opportunity.
For all I know, you'll hide it away just to sabotage us.
Understand, Meowskers, that I have no intention of choosing a side in your conflict. Knowing that, will you still refuse my request?
Obviously, you spy. You...
Very well. I had hoped it wouldn't come to this.
Hoped. Wasn't good enough.
Forgive me.
I'll give you what for.
Okay, so this is a pretty good hand. Holy Bow and Elena can be dropped for now though. We'll focus on the main hand. Of course, I didn't draw it that well either because I ended up with Holy Marksman and Holy Bow anyway, so not the best hop there. At least we got Realm Repose. As I've shown, that's definitely a really solid card for this deck, if you're willing to take a little bit of damage over a couple of turns. I'm hoping our setup would be better, but it hasn't, so I'm going to play the Holy Bow. Most likely, this will die instantly to the spell. It's kind of what I was hoping to bait out, but really as planned either, so I guess it's that. Really got to play the Elena. Maybe trade because that's where my value is right now. It's a pain that I have to go up against Meowskers more than once in this campaign, but that's not the worst situation ever available. So I guess I'll have to deal with it. For now, we'll do a Holy Bow. That'll buy us some time. Get rid of that. And there's the Prism Swing, great. This is definitely going to be on the slower side for the match. I was hoping for a better one than this, but we're going to have to do what we can. So, Zoe, Robo Wing, and a Zoe Evo. I can probably use my next Evo on the Holy Bow. Since I got buffs, that should come in handy. Plus I've got the Realm if I want to use it next turn, so if either one of these survive, I should be fine. And there's the Unicorn Spear, which I honestly kind of expected was going to come eventually. Alright, Holy Bow will actually take the board, which is great, so I can just drop Repose alongside it, which will then set me up for some at least decent damage. So, that looks promising. Plus, we've almost got the setup for God Swan, which will at least buy us some decent time overall when I've got that ready to go. And I can pretty much wipe everything they play. So I'm really not concerned with that at all. I just need to leave myself with at least 3 available. So I might go with the Holy Bow. Just because that's still a good play. Holy Water. And the repair mode should be enough. Just to get the extra buffs going, and then that will buy me enough to use them next turn as well. And that should win us the game. If I've worked this out correctly, we should pretty much have it here. So I'll go for the double buff option, and the Iron Knuckle of course. It's a little bit, this should work out actually just about the same, but getting the double buff definitely seems worth it. We are 1 short. Alright, that's fine. I don't think even if I had have done the double heal there, I still wouldn't have had enough. I would have just cleared the 3-1, which wouldn't have made a huge difference here. At least on the bright side, they shouldn't be able to clear both of these. So all I have to do is use Golden Bell and we win the game. Since that does double buff us again. For plenty of damage. Making short work of that match there.
I didn't hurt you, did I?
There we are. Chapter 4 completed. As far as battle goes.
Stop this foolishness, Meowsker.
Never! No.
Please, won't you at least consider...
Sneak attack! That worked. I mean, of course.
Oh, vengeful radiant.
No. Knocked him out.
My eyes. I put too much into that spell. He's gone. We have the same hope for this.
Oh, here we go. He dropped it.
What? Oh, vengeful radiant. Did it slip from his bag as he was fleeing?
Nice. Either way, she completed the goal.
Using it now would amount to little more than stealing. But in order to fend off the encroaching crisis, I must use whatever means I can.
And that's where that little white thing come from.
This wasn't your will. You have my thanks. Hmm? This glow.
Eris.
Yeah, that's right. Rowan got one.
Rowan, so you too have arrived in this world.
Thank goodness you're all right. That's a load off my mind.
I am relieved to see that you are safe as well.
Oh yeah. Is it just me, or do they seem to be reacting to each other?
Yes, that seems to be the case. I was told these slates are...
You know, I don't see a reason for me to...
Are you certain?
Of course. I feel...
You approach Managarmr? Are they not dangerous?
I'm not sure yet. They very well could be, but at the same time, there's something I have to figure out.
I understand. But you must know that Arisa and Erica seem to have sided with Skull.
They made it too? Well, that just gives me all the more reason to learn about their potential enemy.
Please be careful.
Because, I mean, yeah, that shard was technically introduced in Rowan's story, but we didn't really know what it was for, I guess.
We four...
What?
It's not all gloom and doom. We may be split up, but the others have our favorite portal hopper with them.
Do you mean you and Gilfrey?
Yep. We don't have to worry about them, no.
You're right, Rowan. I shall go and investigate the history of this world. I feel that an important...
All right. Don't let this be the last...
Indeed, it won't be. It is reassuring
Here we
to
are.
see Rowan safe and sound. But with only 4 of us in this world, we will have to muster everything we have. I mustn't let devastation take this land once more. The remedy to certain doom lies sleeping in Naterra's ruin, but I should tread carefully. Forming a true understanding of this realm and its inhabitants will be key, lest my tampering makes matters worse.
Alright, time's forgotten. This is where things get more interesting, I reckon. I'm actually kind of interested in this one, even though I'm short on time as far as getting this video done and out to you guys. Hopefully, this will give us some insight.
How did Meowskers operate this thing before? If memory serves correctly, he held it like so. Very well. Is it working?
Oh, there we go.
Access point
It is working.
detected. Check-in key complete.
Thank goodness.
Voice files found. Playing files recorded on Sienna Moon 14th. 284 PHR. MBM tech read.
Is this thing, like, recording yet? Woohoo! My first live stream. Oh, this is so boss. I'm in the 8th ward right now. ROFL, right? And I'm a 3rd tier citizen. Great.
See, this is what makes me think that they're tied to Baphomet as well, because all his stuff was segmented into wards.
My 2-digi boyfriend took me on a vacation to Central Tower. Yay, but you can't go inside, apparently. Oh, it was huge, though. But the 8th ward cafeteria is no joke. It's, like, so big, you could get lost for days. Do they even know that we have an ether shortage here? Wish we could get that Virgo mechanism thing back home, too.
Is this how the ancients spoke? It is rather reminiscent of Latic.
I used to live in the 107th ward. Yeah, I was like a 3-digi or whatever, but that's where the Twister set down. You guys remember that? This place is so peaceful compared to home.
Alright.
Freak out! Look at the time! Really need to end the stream, guys. Thanks for watching my first one ever. Remember to like and subscribe. Can't wait to read all of your comments. Over and out!
Ending audio playback.
Interesting.
Is that all?
Because that would have to be before Baphomet took over, or after, I guess.
This being so difficult. I could barely understand that person's words.
If that was the case, because it definitely seems like Baphomet's world definitely ties to this heavily in some way.
But I distinctly heard the phrase Virgo mechanism.
And the Virgo mechanism being an actual machine would make sense.
If you will, allow me to provide a brief explanation about the Virgo mechanism.
And that sounds like Baphomet, so Virgo mechanism.
It's a set of energy distribution processes that work to bring modern comfort.
Yeah.
This may well warrant a deeper look.
Hey, honeydew. You interested in the ancients too?
Latica, where did you come from?
You know, the treetops. It's kind of my...
My apologies. I was so absorbed in thought I wasn't paying attention to my surroundings.
It's okay.
Indeed.
Alright, we'll just
It
get
would
this
be
clear.
most prudent to...
So this is the part that interests me about some of Shadowverse storylines. The way that they meld the worlds together, tie in the characters, and make things interesting in that sense is really good. I wasn't a big fan of Erica's storyline and Erisa's storyline too much because it was more personal between Erica and Erisa and didn't have a lot to do with the actual overarching storyline like Eris and Rowan so far have. Whereas the Tetra stuff wasn't as interesting either. The problem with Baphomet's world, other than the time with Ewan being the Keeper's link, there wasn't a lot going on. As far as the greater world span went. This one, though, you can definitely see the throwbacks and ties, which keep things really interesting. I want to see where they lead, what the mysteries are, and unravel them as we go. That's kind of the thing that gets me hooked on these kind of storylines. So I definitely want to at least finish the Verdant Conflict and see what happens at the end of that storyline as a primary goal of mine. So I can't wait until that actually gets wrapped up, because I feel like the way it will tie in will be super cool and hopefully really interesting. Especially if it goes beyond space and actually becomes a time thing as well. Because as things stand now, all we've really had has been dimension and space hopping, not so much time hopping. That's where things could get really interesting. If it turns out they haven't actually been hopping worlds and they've just been hopping time and space, that just through time would be much more interesting. Alright, I might go for this only because I feel like I can make a good impact here. I want to get rid of these.
You're done for. What do you mean? I'm trying to heal here.
So that will bait that into there, and I can probably go with Holy Bow if I need it. Seems like they're going for a wide board set here. If not, I'm just going to go for some easy buffs on the Zoe. Oh, and they actually send a return. That's even more interesting. But it looks like it's an easy Zoe turn here. Why? Because I can just throw the Evo down. Go for as much buffing as possible. I'm also getting a decent draw out of this. Plus 6 damage, which means we can potentially set up for lethal next turn without too much hassle. Ugh, the return. I hate the return. At least our 6/7 gets to stay on board. That would have been a nice draw too. So I can't really do a lot with this. I can only heal once no matter what, so I may as well take the Holy Bomb and heal out. Throw the Evo on that. Although if I had have done it a different way and used the iron, I could have actually attacked with this for a little bit more damage, but like I would have got an extra 1 damage out of it. This definitely seems to work fine though. Oh, here we go. Chimera drop. This is interesting. Don't think I've... Yeah, so it's just a light up for over there. I was wondering what the interaction was. Looks like we win, which is good. But they gave me a run there. I was a little worried that those would actually overcome me, but turns out, not really a threat. Not too much of a worry at all.
Now, the final blow.
Alright.
It is over.
That ought to do it.
Alright, that easily defeats those two.
It seems they've been routed.
Nah.
It truly is.
Huh? What is...
Sorry, I was referring to your manner of speaking. Your words greatly
Oh, good. Glad it's coming across that way. They're my inspo after all.
Latica, does that mean you know about Naterra's...
Maybe a little, like how Viridian Momna got all mad and destroyed everything.
Mad, you say?
Well, yeah. The ancients pissed her off somehow. That's how the story...
And what do you make of those stories?
I decay. My job's to fight, not think. Boss man asked you to poke around here, didn't he? So, like...
Of course. Forgive me.
Oh, mood. For sure. And you can rest your pretty little head, honeydew. Not all of the ancients talk like I do. You'd get bored of your little job real quick if they did.
You do not tire me.
Really? I guess it's your smile that brings out the best.
You dig it? You've said that before. Is this a...
You nailed it. It means to find one alluring.
I see. I must say that...
Ha! Yeah. Speaking of which, you got some exploring to do, yeah? Head 7 tree lengths that way toward Equus Mage.
Thank you.
Alright.
I
wish I could join you, but...
It's alright.
Alright, basic
Right,
goodbyes.
more
Oh, here we go.
There's another place you could get your study on called Asylum, but you should steer clear there.
Asylum? What a peculiar...
Follow Galileo Cerdo Major about 12-ish tree lengths and you'll be there. You'll know you've arrived when swarms of crazy blighted things... That's because Viridia Momna is especially vigilant protecting that area. Ever since before my gran and gramps were born, this big-ass spirit's been there just being a guard dog. That's assuming
Interesting.
you get close, though. First you gotta get past a barrier and... who knows?
I shall bear that in mind.
Well then, catch you later, honeydew.
Interesting. That's probably where it resides.
Intrigues me, but it would not be prudent to endanger me. I shall go to the ruins Latica recommended.
Okay, number 6, civilization. More fighting, as always. Lucky I think 7, 8, and 9 are pretty chill.
Just a little further, I imagine.
Oh, yes, see?
What's this?
There we go. The first actual crucial time that I can possibly look at. This is clearly based on a roly-poly. This does lead me to believe that Baphomet's world was the past, or some form of offshoot. Super interesting.
A remnant of the ancients.
And the fact that it's weird staff is interesting too, because that doesn't look like Tetra staff, does it? I don't think it does, but it might.
And it's holding a staff. No, I mustn't lose focus. Perhaps I shall find a response here.
Access points detected. Beginning hollow memory playback. Author Gerard L. Vaindish. Recorded on Yellow Moon 21st, 287 PHR, number 1.
Oh, hologram.
Hang on. Can I talk
And that's
now?
definitely the style that Baphomet went for.
is this
Although this
sorcery?
could be post-Baphomet or pre-Baphomet era.
Oh,
Judging by the
seriously,
voice that
Mom?
Baphomet made in the last
You know
recording,
you're
I judge
right.
it's
Buying a
pre-Baphomet.
hologrammer? Oh, you've really put us out now.
An intangible view of another time. Some form of phantasmagoria.
All I do is talk, and this thing will start broadcasting, right? Not like I have much to say. This is so... Anyway, I'm just living the regular life of a Magicore technician. Go to work, come home, and wolf down a NutriCube before hitting the hay. Not enough money for much else. I'm on the lowest rung of the corporate ladder, but hopefully they'll move to the research facility at Centralis soon enough. I've at least got job security, you know. Starting to sound like there's not enough NutriCubes to go around, though. Well, guess that's to be expected, since we're having ether shortages and all. Oh, wait, did you send me this hologrammer because you were worried I was getting thinner? Well, as you can see, I've still got some of my baby fat, so there's nothing to worry about, right?
He was easier to parse than the other ancient, but there were still many terms I have never heard before. Corporate ladder? Sounds gruesome. I feel I have learned something more from this recording. However,
One of these
before I
blighted
can
bears.
delve further,
Let's get rid of this.
an innocent beast. And as
See, this is super interesting because that has to be a direct tie-in. The design of that guy, the roly-poly, just the way all that sits with me really, really pulls me into that. And it's a pity that by the time I reckon we get to the end of this, it won't fully explain exactly what happened. I feel like we're going to have to wait for that. It disappoints me just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I'd really love to know everything there is to know about the tie-in between this world, or this time, and Baphomet's time, or pre-Baphomet time. I have to guess it's pre. Judging by how everything's talked about and everything goes, it sounds like Baphomet took over after, then made everything more stringent. Especially with the first voice recording we heard, which clearly sounded like a Baphomet voice recording. He just had that exact same... I'm pretty sure it would be the exact same voice actor, of course, but... I mean, it could be a random, but it definitely sounded like him. So, I'll give it that. Bare minimum, after all. Alright, next turn's going to be interesting. Especially since I can't deal with this 2-2. Okay, so I need Holy Bomb and kill. There he is. I can't use him this turn. But I can use him next turn. And this will at least buy me time, I think, Iron Knuckles, so that should be good enough. And then I can play Holy Bow and use repair mode to wipe out pretty much an entire board. Especially going up against Blighted Bear. And if they use that to ram it in, that's fine. So we take a little bit of damage, but we're guaranteed to wipe the board this time. Plus we get a nice double buff. So we get a 8-7 follower out of this. It'll actually get us very close to having lethal if we count the 2 Holy Bows and repair modes. As long as they don't Evo trade, which they didn't, but they did heal, so that's putting a damper on my situation. That's for sure. So this plus the double play here. That'll get us the clear. Plus we're only 2 damage off, so if we would have won if they didn't heal. And this Okami's not going to do anything. Easy win. I'll take it.
You're done for. You're done for.
Innocent beast. I pray you find peace, noble.
Okay, she done with that? Yeah,
I
cool.
wonder if he, I believe Gerard is what he called himself.
Voice command accepted.
Oh, here we go.
Searching for records authored by
By Gerard L.
Vanish.
Vanish. Please wait. Oh, cool. I like that.
Search complete. Please move to the designated access point.
A ray of light.
Oh, awesome.
Seems to have understood my command. I suppose I should try following.
Yes, Eris, follow the light.
Access point detected. Checking key. Complete. Begin. Author Gerard L. Vanish.
Blue Moon 4th.
Recorded.
Number 2.
I finally have something to talk about. Guess I'll send you another holo. Today we had an emergency work order, so from tomorrow I'll be posted directly in Centralis.
It seems to be a series.
To call in an ordinary technician like me, they must be struggling to find people. Bet they've started up a new project. But working in Centralis means I'll get to use a transporter. I'll be able to enter the first ward. I won't have to worry about the morning rush on the Magiliner. Oh, sleeping in until the last minute is gonna feel so great. Guess it's been a while since shit news. Whoops, gotta go. End recording.
Playing next hologram. Author Gerard L. Vandish. Recorded on blue.
Okay.
Centralis is amazing! Honestly, it's just the best. They've got all the latest Magitech, including personal Magin Euros for everybody. Oh, I'm so glad I got transferred here. The company cafeteria doesn't just sell NutriCubes. Nope, they've got actual fresh food. They harvest it from the indoor garden. This is definitely the life of a first warder. No, someone better than that. We don't have to worry about the ether shortage here at all. I love this life. That and, this probably doesn't matter, but, if I say that, I bet you'll start pestering me to have kids, won't you? Oh, never mind. Forget I...
I am beginning to understand the lifestyle the ancients must have led. They created an advanced civilization, basing their lives around tools of convenience, like this slate. Everything seems wonderful.
This is definitely the life of a first warder.
But the 8th ward cap...
Ether, or what the people on my world would call mana. They experienced a shortage. But I still need more information. Please guide me to the next location.
Search complete. Please move to the designated access point.
Right. This way then.
Finally, things get more interesting. It definitely sounds like something Baphomet devised. At least the tiering system. I know that's what he used in his world originally, so... It's so hard to discern whether this is pre, post, or during. I'm pretty sure it's got to be pre based on how he was trying to, like, sell the first core thing. Or at least most of it's got to be pre.
I wonder what could be stored here.
Author Gerard L. Vandish.
Number 4, yeah, that's fine.
It's gotten chilly these last few days, so don't forget to pay your heating bill, Mom. It's not healthy to sleep in the cold. Not sure when you'll see this, though. Might be warm by the time you do. From now on, I should be able to send you a few more credits every month. Oh, I also found out more about my next transfer. It'll be next month, during White Moon. I'll be joining the Virgo Mechanism operations
Here we
team.
go.
They just established it here at Centralis. The Virgo Mechanism is that machine we built in the tower, the one that produces ether. You've heard of it, right, Mom?
The mechanism. If they were relying on this device to produce mana, then was their mana shortage also due to some sort of failure?
It's an important post, they said. But that just means I can't slack off. Yeah. Make sure you buy a new heater. I'll send the money for it. Oh, I almost forgot. That jacket you sent me. It's really flashy. You want me to wear it and go on a date with Yulika, don't you? I love you, but seriously, mind your own business. We've been eating lunch together, and that's enough for right now. So, don't...
This completes another journey into the past. Sorceress device, will you guide me to the next location?
Voice command accepted. Searching access points detected. 3 files remaining for
No,
Gerard
3.
Elvain.
Please.
Voice command accepted. Beginning hollow memory. Author Gerard L.
Number 5, here we go.
Today was my first day seeing the Virgo mechanism with my own eyes. It was so weird. It looked like a woman. A living woman. I thought maybe one of my colleagues had put on a costume to roast me or something. That wasn't the case, though. Anyway, the head engineer insists it's just a machine that makes ether. And who knows? Maybe I'm just being delusional.
Alive? Even though it was a machine.
Oh,
Kind of like Tetra.
I haven't told you about my job yet. The boss gave us a long spiel about it, but the gist is we're going to be in charge of making a new energy assimilator. After we hook it up to the Virgo mechanism, its ether production should go through the roof. Gotta do something about the ether shortage, you know? Might help with the natural disasters and food supply issues. The higher-ups tell us it'll be just like the days when the Virgo mechanism was called Viridia Magna.
Here we go.
A little of their plans,
Viridia
but
Magna.
these changes sound, well, a little too extreme, if you ask me.
What? Viridia Magna?
You see, Viridia Magna designed this world, populated it with life, and breathed ether into its roots.
See,
This
that's
device
interesting.
that produces ether, the Virgo mechanism. It was actually Viridia Magna all along.
I guess that means things will start to get better for you and everyone else back home. Oh crap, oh crap. Mom, Yulika's calling me. Why right now?
Using technology to force the Virgo mechanism, Viridia Magna, to work beyond her natural output.
Well, yeah, the ancients pissed her off somehow. That's how the stories go, at least.
Could this be the reason she destroyed the world? Sorceress device, unleash the next recording.
Beginning hollow memory playback. Author Gerard L. Vaindish.
White Moon, number 6. Here we go.
Hey, Mom. The development of the assimilator is going, well, superb. We've got a new project advisor guy helping us out. They say he's got unreal engineering skills with Magitech. I won't ever get to work with him, but I still get to see how effective his leadership's been. At this rate, we might get the assimilator running by next month. It's just... Mom, I feel weird about it. Should we really be messing with the Virgo mechanism like this? I can't help but have doubts, you know? Everyone keeps telling me it's just a dumb piece of Magitech. But when you look into her eyes, its eyes, you can't help it. But I guess we have to keep trying. After it's up and running, it'll all be worth it. Imagine the... And Yulika, she wants to see the stars. Not the ones we make with the projectors. The real ones in the sky. But a stargazing tour is expensive. Not even first-tier citizens can afford it, you know? If this goes well, then I should be able to take her to see the night sky as many times as she wants.
How
That's all
nice.
for today, I guess.
On to the final record.
Beginning hollow memory.
Number 8. Yeah, why is
previous
the...
recording was 6.
Yeah, skipped one.
Oh, damn it. Damn it all. We shouldn't have done this. We shouldn't have messed with her.
Such fear.
We're through. Oh, Mom. Oh, Yulika. We're done for. If what happens next, this world, Natura, it's all over.
See, and he called it... Alphabet called it Eidolon, so it's weird. It seems like there's a tight tie-in, but it's too loose to know.
We were wrong. We were so wrong. If only I'd said something sooner. I'm sorry I can't show you the stars, Yulika. I'm sorry I couldn't give you a better life, Mom. I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. I love you. I know the signal's out, but I hope this reaches you somehow. Maybe if you seek shelter and hide, you...
The next moments are crucial. Please, Sorceress Device, continue the phantasmagoria.
Hollow memory damaged. Playback failed.
Then, the 7th recording. Please, search for it.
Voice command accepted. Searching, no data found.
It's gone.
This is what remains of the history of Naterra? It was a terrible fate that you did not deserve, Gerard. I will carry on your hopes.
So where's it going? That's the question. And as I say that, the next chapter is questions.
The ancients once used Viridia Magna as an energy-producing device. However, they lacked the to maintain their degree of advancement. This pushed Viridia Magna beyond her limit, which in turn led to the destruction of the world. Driven mad by the gluttony of her children, she unleashed her fury upon Naterra, or so the records show. But history is rarely so simple.
Beginning hollow memory play.
Number 8. Then again...
Oh, right. One more thing. There's another place you could get your study...
The asylum.
If I am to bring salvation to Naterra, I must understand its entire... I believe she said to follow Galio Cardo Major. That should be in this direction.
Oh, here we go. Great Spirit.
A powerful guardian is... Make no mistake, Blighted One. You will allow me to pass.
Alright, let's hope this battle goes as smoothly as some of the others have so far. So yeah, I'm still confused on whether it does tie to Baphomet's world. There's too many coincidences, especially the roly-poly, that really cinches it for me, because that's something that was similarly, obviously, designed by Aaliyah. And the Viridia Magna sounds like it would suit really well with that kind of story. So I'd be really interested to see if that is the case. Maybe it is post-Baphomet after they defeat him, or maybe pre-Baphomet. I just really don't know at this point. It's too hard to say for sure. It seems like it was during Baphomet, his rise. And it's very possible that everyone else, well, the majority, took some serious damage. I'm not sure, because it seems weird. Because if the Viridia Magna wiped them out, that wouldn't have happened like that, surely. Because Baphomet wouldn't have come to power. Unless it's an alternate history and there was a split somewhere. That's always possible, I guess. But it does seem weird that it's structured the way it is, because there's too many ties to Baphomet's world of Aileon. But it's also possible he just dimension hopped and then rebuilt everything from his world, basically. The same style. The wards, the people, the style of clothing he's forcing them to wear, all because he wants to be reminded of his old world that was destroyed due to the Viridia Magna. So, there's too much to go through. That's what makes this so tricky. It's interesting and worthwhile, but tricky. What am I gonna get? Here we go. Heal. Not really that great. I'm gonna overdraw no matter what happens here, so we may as well wait. I mean, I could have healed the 5-3 there, I guess.
So many colors of guidance.
Let's see what happens, though. Alright, a fair trade. I'll take it. My turn 5 is looking pretty empty. That probably wasn't the best turn 5, to be honest, because I don't really have anything else to play now. I should have probably went for the White Fang Temple. I could have just played that and ended the turn. But I also then wouldn't have had a board, so I guess there's that. Jesus, this is not going to be an easy battle. Let's put it that way. We'll go with this and end for now. It's a good play. Gets us the heal.
The forest abandoned me.
Hey, let's play.
Alright, harvest season. Sounds promising. We've still got the holy bowman. as well, so that could be working.
How could you?
That's ideal. That's exactly what we needed. Now we can really start getting going.
Better than in the cradle.
Especially since they've now used their evos too, so they're purely relying on what they've got.
Hey, let's play.
And without healing, we should actually be pretty well off. So Holy Bow into Tender.
Jeez, stay still.
Potentially 4 heals. 5 if I count the Evo. Which should get me lethal. Easily. There we go.
The real
Okay, it's a bit tricky, but it worked. Perfect. 5 over. It's those sort of hands that I really like when I can pull off some crazy healing combos, but it was risky. I mean, it only took them getting past the Purgatory, and that could have screwed me completely over. Because it's hard to do burst damage from this deck without something on board. I do need to get past this though, since it's not really that interesting. It's just going to be the fight against the evil thing.
I managed to defeat it, I feel.
Okay.
Ouch, honey. Attica. Coinky dink. Well, that and I figured you'd come here after I told you.
Am I truly so predictable?
Without a doubt.
It's just, I must get to Asylum.
Okay.
Life once flourished across this land, and its wellspring was located here. But now nothing remains, not even the fragments of a once advanced civilization.
That and, and Yulik, but is stargazing towards...
Such untold sadness cannot be allowed to rear its head once again.
Preach it. This should be handy then.
What?
Oh, another piece.
Another sorcerer's device?
Oh, you've seen them before, honeydew. There are 3 of them altogether.
And with 2 already in my possession.
Yep. Now you've caught them all. I've seen them work magic in the ruins around the forest, so maybe they'll do something even sweeter in Asylum.
Latic.
I mean, I've been told by Gran never to go there since forever, but you're grown, you know? That place might freak me out, but you didn't have the same upbringing I did, right? So, you know, if we're all gonna be destroyed, like, what can we do about it? But I won't keep you from exploring Asylum because, I love Naterra. And if you think you can find something to prevent the
I will save this world.
Asylum's just ahead.
Very well. I shall return when I can.
Okay.
Oh, honeydew. Can you really save Naterra? Either way, just make it back from Asylum first, okay?
Oh, truth. Yes, finally, give me the truth. Throw the truth at me. That's all I need. Give me some truth. Right into my soul. Oh, what's this? I like it. Barrier.
This is the barrier.
Oh, barrier boy. Let's give it.
What lies ahead. Asylum awaits.
Yep. Now,
We don't need a flashback now.
Sorceress device. Grant me entry into Asylum.
Voice command accepted.
Oh,
Welcome to Centralis, Asylum Sector. Scanning parameters. Complete. Beginning mind.
Mind transfer. That sounds dangerous.
Uploading consciousness.
What? What?
Mind transfer complete. 1,002,001,900 nodes uploaded to Centralis, Asylum Sector database.
this is Asylum?
Welcome, Administrator. As a fresh transfer to Centralis, please watch this video, which will provide more context for your work on the Virgo mechanism. Note, however, that this information is classified. Enjoy. Once upon a time, in our world of Naterra, the citizenry lived in fear of both beast and spirit. Our people were weak against the claws and fangs of the animals, small compared to the fury of nature and its spectral representative. That is, until a lone girl, distraught and clinging to a starving friend, looked up to the stars and made a wish. She asked for a way, any way, to save her friends, her family, and all the peoples of the world, to deliver them from their suffering. A wandering mage appeared before her, having heard her call. He bestowed upon her the power to link man, beast, and spirit. A power he calls
Something like the Keepers. I bet you it has to be. It has to be the
This
Keepers.
is Viridian Magna's origin.
The people forged bonds with spirits through ether, gaining bounty and strength. They now had the means to survive. However, the girl's newfound powers morphed her mortal flesh, and her body became an ethereal vessel, akin to that of a spirit. With great respect and gratitude for her sacrifice, the peoples of Naterra raised their prayers and called her spiritual form into the trunk of a sacred tree. The brave girl had been deified as a mother goddess. Eventually, she became known as Viridia Magna, the abundance of life incarnate, and the eternal protector of Naterra. That concludes our video. We hope it was informative.
I see.
I have to guess that they originally come from here then.
You see, Viridia Magna designed...
Not even Balion knew about this. What else could be hidden here? Please search for Gerard's records.
Voice command accepted. Searching for records authored by Gerard L. Vaindish. Search complete. Act author, Gerard L. Vaindish.
Number 7.
Recorded on white.
It's the missing recording.
Mom, something terrible's happened. I'm not even sure how to explain it. Screw it, I'll start from the beginning. So we finished the new energy assimilator according to plan. But when we tried to hook it up to the Virgo mechanism, at first things looked alright. The ether absorption rate was off the charts. But then the Virgo mechanism went into sleep mode. It was like watching a tree wither up and die in a matter of seconds. All of its power gone, just like that. The Virgo mechanism wasn't just a piece of magitech made to produce ether. We've been tricked by Centralis this whole time. Its real name is Viridia Magna, and we've been keeping it locked up in the basement of the tower, just wringing ether out of it for decades. The adjustments we made to her, it's like it cut off her source or something. She's not putting out energy at all.
They completely exhausted her power.
Wow.
The advisor, the guy who originally gave us the plans for the assimilator, he's nowhere to be found. So no one can stop what's happening.
So he took Viridian Magna's power and turned himself into a fucking god, basically. Oh my god.
The nerve to call himself the messenger of our keeper,
yeah.
whatever that is.
Did he say keeper? Could it be?
Oh, Mom, do you understand how bad this is? Sure, we've got some ether stored up for a rainy day, but who knows when we'll run through it all. The Magitech trains, the air filters, our entire civilization's going to crumble. I heard there are mobs heading to the tower to get into the ether reserves. They say riots have sprung up all over as people compete for food. Mom, you gotta find shelter, okay? I'm not sure how much longer things will be safe.
Playback finished.
Naterra's destruction was not wrought by Viridia Magna's wrath after all. They drained her of all ether, causing her to fall into a slumber. Then riots arose as a result of diminishing resources, with famine and larger conflict occurring not long after. And behind it all, ever pulling the strings from the shadows, was another keeper. Sorceress device. I am finished here.
Voice command accepted. Beginning mind transfer.
Now I am armed with the truth of this world.
Interesting.
I must make haste, lest the mistakes of the past are repeated.
Has to be Belfman. I can't think of anyone else who would have wringed it dry and then ran.
Finally, I have returned. I must hurry to Balion. Latika!
Honey, thank the forest spirits you're back, girl.
Latika, I have learned the history of your world. Viridia Magna did not destroy it.
Oh, for real?
The ancient ones themselves brought about their own demise. Or, more accurately, they were manipulated by a keeper. So we...
Hold that thought, honeydew. We got company.
She's it!
Stoop! Oh!
What?
After you left, Viridia Momna started roaring. You know, the omen that marks Naterra's on...
Yes!
It's like... It mustn't be this...
Oh no, those puppy dog...
No, we'll get through this.
Let's go find Balion and Valde.
Will we make it in time?
We will. You made it back from Asylum, right, honeydew?
Hey,
Yeah!
Oh, artwork.
Know why they call me
Love
a
it.
Stoneclaw?
Vladica.
Don't sweat it. Anybody who's dumb enough to face me pretty much deserves a good pummeling, you know? I'm not the sharpest spear in the armory, but
Thank you for...
my pleasure. I'll break as many faces as it takes to get you to Balion.
Nice. There we go. Alright, that finishes Eris' storyline and gives us a whole new perception of the world. So, they didn't really explain anything about Baphomet as far as it goes, but it does seem like there's definitely really strong ties between Natura and Allion. As far as how the world's brought up, it looks like Allion is probably an offshoot of it, where potentially some people escaped and they moved over there. That's all I can kind of think of. Their technology is almost identical in the sense that they seem to use very similar style. They use Aether, very similar to what they were using in, of course, Baphomet's world for the Magitech cores and stuff. All very similar and tie in very heavily. So I can't wait to see where that part of the story goes. Super interesting. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. If you did, be sure to hit like button and subscribe. I'll leave this link in the description below for the deck list. Until next time, guys. See ya.